Welcome everybody. It's the pod after Christmas.
Yes, and all through the house, everybody is stirring, including the mice. We're hiding in Guy's snug.
You might hear some little shriek of happy children.
Or the sound of a blockbuster movie through the wall. Because it's all that stuff going on.
Yeah.
I'm sure you're all familiar enough with it.
Hey, did I tell you about the fire?
The fire in here?
Yeah, no. I know I mentioned it to you, but I don't think we potted about it. When you said the blockbuster movie through the wall,
That was when the place smelled of cheese on toast.
That's it. My son came back.
Yeah, but wait.
I live in a really...
Stop now.
Sorry, okay.
What the fuck are you doing? This is totally irrelevant. Something really significant happened.
Oh, right. Two words.
First word.
First word. Driving car.
Second.
Crash.
Exactly.
Car crash. And for once, it used in connection with my life, not metaphorically.
So this is weird, Guy. You have to admit this is quite spooky.
This is a literal car crash. And are you anyone who listened to some of these pods probably know that my father died in a car crash, because somehow we cannot stop talking about it.
We were talking about it.
And it was sad when I first started talking about it when it happened a long time ago when I was a little boy, but now it's not.
And in
we've managed to make it quite funny.
Last week's pod. This is the background because he's waffling again. Last week's pod.
I'm not waffling.
What happened was
I'm giving ample background.
In last week's pod, we discussed the fact that your father had died when driving home for Christmas on a certain day, which
23rd of December.
The next day or the day after that. It was within a very few days of last week's pod. And so Guy was... Anyway, so over to you, Guy. We finished doing the pod and
I got in the car and I had to drive to London to go and pick up my grandkids and my in-laws. And because I was at Paul's, I went down the M4, which is not a motorway I'm particularly familiar with. But it was the motorway, you need to know, listener, that was used when I was a child to get to London. And it was the motorway on which my father died on the 23rd of December. So I happened to be driving down the motorway on the 21st of December last week, just after I'd podded. And I had a really bad car accident. And what was more weird was that I had it in Hillingdon, right by Heathrow, which is also exactly where not exactly, very close to where my father died. And it at the time, I didn't think any of that at all, because I was driving down the motorway fairly fast, about 50 miles an hour, slow lane. And what I didn't know was that I was coming up to a collision, and I saw it a little bit late, hit the brakes and just thought, we're going to stop in time, and then realised, no, we're not. Boomf! Bung! And I was okay.
airbag.
No airbag. That's odd.
Shit, them cars, aren't they? What did you drive again?
I never could. But I wasn't going to hit. You know, the impact wasn't that big. Anyway, I got out and I thought that the main problem was that I was worried about this huge truck. It was about 6 o'clock at night. It was very busy. The traffic hurrying back into London was going to come right up behind me and smash all of us, you know, like a sort of huge snooker cannon, you know, further down the motorway. And then people were dazed and standing by the cars, and I was shouting at them to get onto the verge.
You sprang into action, didn't you, Guy?
Well, I don't want to sound too heroic, actually.
Go on, do it.
I really wanted to make sure I wasn't hurt. Primarily, that was the first person who I was looking after. And then I said to the others, "You better get out of the way."
Everybody, get out of your cars. Oh, no, madam, just stay there, and dragging them out. And you can imagine it. The cars going past and guys there battling, dragging this poor woman out of her car. And you, get back.
Don't do that,
She's going to blow. She's going to blow any second. Anyway, yeah, you sorted it out, didn't you, Guy?
Yeah, I did, yeah. And I ended up in a pub in Hillingdon having a drink. And then I reflected that it was this strange coincidence that I had this crash, and I have had very few crashes in my life, and probably was not that far from being killed. I could easily have been killed in it. If a truck had gone in the back, it would have killed me.
Yeah.
And
And how ironical that would have been, Guy, for you to die within a few days of the same date as your father, within a few hundred yards of the same stretch of
Very
road.
surprised, Paul, that you should use the word ironical there.
I did it deliberately, Guy,
I
to
thought
annoy
you would
you.
have a whole load of other different words, explanations.
I liked ironical.
I thought you were going to say, and how absolutely typical, or, and it's, of course, no surprise at all that, you would be killed in the same spot as your
Well,
father.
ironical's not a real word, is it, Guy?
Ironical is a word, actually.
Is it?
Yeah, it is, yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
It's a shit word.
Yeah.
Do you like that word?
No, I just use ironic.
Yeah, because ironical sounds ridiculous.
Yeah. We could check it, but I'm pretty sure.
Well, no, but I mean, there could be a supernatural angle to this.
Well, or maybe I was thinking more. What other angle could there be?
Subnatural.
Subnatural, supernatural,
Or natural. Or
We were both ginks. Was I? No, the thing is
you
that
weren't drunk for a change.
I was not drunk. That's the most extraordinary thing. Was that it must have been the first time in 3
Don't
weeks I was
brag about
driving
this.
sober.
Don't brag
couldn't
about this
believe it.
guy.
I was
Do not brag
I'm
about
not
driving.
bragging. I was very
That
pleased to be
sounded really
driving
braggy.
sober.
Oh, it's the first time in weeks that I was driving sober.
Well, it's the Christmas period,
Yeah, mistletoe and wine.
Look, I was sober,
You've been
and I
snogging.
crashed.
Snogging
Okay,
girl.
kids, what lesson to draw from that?
Yes. By the way, at this point, I just wanted to say something, which is we'll come back to this in a minute. But Guy, we've had a few little things, haven't we, about you interrupting me and bullying me. So I just wanted to say this that listeners, it has been noted. Your many letters and comments have been noted about the fact that Guy does have a tendency to talk over me. So Guy's he's trying to jump in at the minute, but I'm not going to let him because he's under manners at the moment, aren't you, Guy? To behave yourself, just for a trial period.
If I find out that people,
Yes, Guy, you may speak now.
if I find out that people wrote in were nudged to or under the orders of Paul, there is going to be a lot of trouble, and I'm going to be looking into these letters
Would I do a thing like that?
because,
That is a disgraceful slur on my character.
I would not put it past you.
Fucking hell, man. What do you think I am? I can fight my own battles, Guy.
One person said, "Why do you interrupt Paul's really interesting conspiracy theories?" And I thought, "Oh fuck it! Why am I doing this?"
Yeah, well,
Just throw the fucking microphone down and walk
it's
off.
not because
If we've got listeners
these
who
are not
find your
they
conspiracy
are not
theories
conspiracy
interesting,
theories, Guy. What they are is where you've got question
despair.
marks. There are question marks over certain incidents in life, and you can't just ignore them. If you do, then you don't have an inquiring mind. That is a problem. If you understand things properly, then you understand there are questions about certain things. You can't honestly sit there and say to me that Kennedy's assassination was cut and dried, that it was that little bloke who did it, It's ridiculous. Nobody thinks that now, apart from you.
it's such a waste of energy thinking about it and weaving. Why not just write or read novels? That's all. It's just speculation. It's just using your imagination. But for some silly reason...
No, Guy, it's looking
you
at the
want to
evidence
pretend
and
you
realising that the evidence points in another direction. That's what people do when they're in the police, Guy. That's what people do. That's how they find things out. That's how they solve things. It's called journalism. Journalism, Guy.
I don't know.
And you're the first to complain about journalism being dead.
Well, no, I'm not the first. It's unfortunate that it has died.
Moribund, at least, anyway.
Yeah, it's been taken. Although I read the London Review of Books, and that is fantastic journalism.
Yeah, you know what we need, guys? Another journalist who just toes the fucking party line. That's what we need, isn't it? Who just goes along with the BBC version of events. That's just what the world needs. That's what you're asking for. You're asking for everyone just to calm down and move along because there's nothing to see.
Yeah, because when the milk is spilt, or when
the blood. Let's call it what it is, Guy.
Okay, say the blood is flowed. You can waste so much time
trying to find out what actually happened.
Trying to make someone guilty, and arguing about it, and not accepting that sometimes you just don't find these things out. And it's not that important.
If someone gets their fucking brains blown out on television, Guy, then yes, somebody is responsible for that. There is a guy who pulled the trigger, and there's a sequence of events that led up to that, and it's better to know properly what happened.
Well, I don't think that you can. All you're doing is you're just spreading, sort of rumours and fantasies.
No. I'm not doing that.
You are.
I'm quite
Exactly what
critical
you're
about
doing.
these
That's
things.
exactly what you're doing.
Okay.
And instead of going, we've got a different situation now with a different president, let's focus on that. That's gone.
This was in 1963.
Yeah, but you're still warbling on about it.
Well,
you
I was born in
conspiracy
1963.
No.
Oh, God.
Is that, do you think it's something to do with it?
Fucking wanker. Yes, Guy.
You are. Hold on.
I
Before
am-
or after the assassination?
Guy. Ich
Don't say
Ich
after.
bin ein Berliner.
Was it before or after? What day was the assassination?
Never mind.
No, just let me ask
Guy,
a few questions.
never mind.
My inquiring mind wants to find out.
You're inquiring.
Yeah.
You.
Have you ever been to the World Trade Center?
You're a dick. Yes, I have. I had. I'm going to tell you a little story about this now. You can time me if you want, Guy. I once went to the World Trade Center to meet two artists, and I was very excited because I'd never been to New York before. It was my first time in New York. I went there and went in the World Trade Center and went up in the lift and got to the top, and I tried to walk in. I was wearing some ghastly Jean Paul Gaultier jacket, and the guy stopped me and went, "Excuse me, sir, I'm afraid you can't go in wearing that jacket." And I was like, "But my friends are in there." And he was like, "I'm sorry, sir, we don't allow you to wear this kind of garment in Windows on the World." And I said, "Oh, well, what can I do?" He said, "That's not a problem. Give me your jacket and we'll loan you one for the duration of your visit here." And I was like, "Fucking, this is great." So I took my jacket off.
Hold on, I just want a bit of information because I've never been up there. Is it like a burger joint or something?
No, I'll describe it to you in a second. So he hands me this kind of faintly greasy. We were in kind of a little corridor, and there was a huge crystal display there. It was really beautiful, and it was all, you know what the Americans, they tend to overdo things a little bit. There's a lot of gold around and brass. Anyway, he gave me this slightly greasy crimpline jacket and took my rather fine Gaultier jacket and hung it on a hook. So I put this jacket on, and he, in the mirror, pulled the shoulders up and sort of took the waist and everything.
What was the policy?
Well, you had to wear a jacket, so...
But the Gaultier jacket wasn't considered a jacket?
No, because it was a bit like a puffer jacket or something I was wearing.
Okay.
Because it was cold. It was winter. Mm-hmm. So I walked in feeling really embarrassed in this horrible crimpling jacket. Yeah. And these two artists that I know were sitting there, both wearing the same jackets. And these beautiful surroundings and these windows that went literally from a floor down right up to a floor above us, and so the whole thing was like being in a glass box looking down over New York, and it was perfect vision to the horizon. And I walked up to the table where my friends were standing. I said, "Gentlemen, how pleasant to see you this morning. I see we have the same tailor." And then as we looked, so we sat down, we started drinking. In those days, both of them drank. It was Quinny and Hursty, and in those days they both drank, and they were quite good fun back then, actually. Anyway, looked out of the window and we could see something coming towards us, out in this clear blue sky. I said, "What's that on the horizon?" There's this dot, and it was getting bigger and bigger, and we were all like, "Ah, fuck, it's a flying saucer," and it got bigger and bigger and bigger. It was this silver sphere, and it came towards the thing, and then it turned slightly. We realised it was the Goodyear blimp.
Right.
And it came and parked outside. Extraordinary.
That's quite nice.
It was amazing.
That's quite nice. Yeah, I'm familiar with the places, the stuffy, ridiculous. I don't know what they are. They're just exclusive for the love of excluding people.
You're kind of gaff.
Those places where they lend you a tie or a jacket.
Don't you love them?
Particularly ties. Mark's Club is one. I go there for lunch sometimes, and I wear a tie, but I never want to go in there. And they lend me one of those really plastic ties that are really stiff. Yeah. You know what I mean? A horrible tie, and I have to add the ignominy of walking in a bright yellow kind of shiny tie. But I went to the RAC Club the other day.
Oh, I love it in there.
And I was ruled out on the grounds that my trousers were.
Were they too revealing?
And I said,
You're not coming in here with them.
Is there a club trousers? Club trousers. I could have found myself the...
Excuse me, sir. Can I just take you to one side? Sir, you do realise that you have a parallel crease in your right leg, and we can't possibly let you in.
Anyway, I So I asked for the club trousers.
You're fucking joking.
And then I said,
didn't have
are
club-
my underpants okay too, or can I have the club underpants?
Trousers?
No, they didn't. I wanted to go in there for dinner with my mate.
Damn.
So I said, don't worry, I'm going to nip up the road, and I suspect I was wearing jeans.
Yeah.
It was probably denim.
Yeah.
I'll nip up the road, get a pair of trousers, order me a drink. I'll be back here in a flash. I ran out of the RSC club and I started going up Haymarket towards Piccadilly, and it was quite late in the evening, and all the shops were shut. But at the top there was a guy selling kind of umbrellas.
Give me your trousers.
There was a guy selling umbrellas and
Trousers.
and Union Jack tea cloths and things like that. And he had a pair of the cheapest tracksuit trousers. I don't know how we had them. He said they were there anyway. £6. Bought them. They were so ill-shaped
Disgusting.
and so disgusting. And I looked such a wazzock in them. But what was great was that I put them on and I
Over the other
absolutely-
ones?
No, I had to take the other ones off, and I completely passed muster, and I was welcomed into the restaurant looking like a complete ass. And they didn't see it at all funny. I thought it was quite funny that I had looked quite good before and I looked absolutely terrible. They just love stopping people, excluding people, and I get that. I don't know. You probably won't have been to Henley or to Lord's. Both of these places that they are where you see the work of that English middle kind of upper middle class.
It's called snobbery, guy.
But no, it's not snobbery. Actually, it's not snobbery.
Fucking is.
No, it's not snobbery because it's more like a sort of tribal club thing, and certainly when I went to
Yeah, that's what snobbery is. You're not in our
Yeah,
gang.
but you can be. Yeah, but maybe. Boy.
Snobbery is
I
exactly what it
that.
is. The
But
Nazis were the ultimate snobs.
Right.
It leads to the gas chamber.
Right.
Snobbery is the road that leads to the gas chamber.
I'm not quite sure what snob means. Does it mean that you just you dislike someone who doesn't fit a certain kind of template?
It used to be from Oxford and Cambridge, and it meant that if you weren't landed gentry, you couldn't come in. And the first lads to come in who were not landed gentry, they called them snobs.
Well, that's completely the opposite then.
Well, it's not if you're landed gentry, because they were saying they want to be. It's an aspirational thing.
Right. Anyway,
So I've heard.
Yeah, I can understand. So it's really about class. You're saying it's about class. You see, that's all I'm trying to work it out.
It's
And
not
I guess
about
it is about
class.
class. I don't know.
It's not really about
But
class. It's
certainly,
like you're not in our gang. You just said it.
I was. I had a real fitty at Lord's where a kind of bloke body checked me and said, "You can't get in there wearing that." And I just thought, you pathetic little man. My friends are all there having a drink, and he sort of body checked me, and he really enjoyed just stopping me.
What was he wearing?
He was wearing, because they all have this very stratified regalia with ties and caps and
uniform.
blazers, but which indicate what level of the organisation.
Hello, yeah. So did the Nazis. They wore uniforms.
Yeah, okay, yeah. Well, I don't think
It's the same
we're
fucking
not
thing.
comparing the poor.
Look, I'm
stewards
sorry, I've got to
of the North
apologise.
Pavilion to the Nazis.
Yes, I fucking am, because that's where it leads. That's where snobbery leads.
But anyway, about quite a long time ago, when I was a young man, a woman invited me to go to Henley Regatta. I've had no interest in rowing, and no interest,
You're interested in the woman. So.
I had a vague interest in that, so I said I'd go, and I didn't say to her what should I wear, because I thought, it's a summer's day in England. I wear a suit. What can possibly go wrong? And when I got there must have been probably about 10,000 people in these marquees, and every single man was wearing the same thing. They were wearing blue trousers, pale blue shirt, a blazer, and a certain kind of and a variant on a sort of rowing club tie, or maybe a cravat as well.
Did they have those double-breasted
blazers? Yeah, exactly.
cunts?
Every single one, except for the waiters,
That's fucking...
and me, who had taken a light tweed suit. And I remember it was a very hot day.
Spiv.
It was a very hot day, and it wasn't a good choice because it was a bit heavy. The cloth was a bit heavy for the day.
So you were sweating profusely.
already sweating before I even entered into the marquee. And this woman didn't particularly know me, and she had invited me to come and meet all her pals and her family and all that.
God.
You know, and I stuck out like a sore thumb.
You were in for a dig, weren't you, guys?
And I was sweating away and just thinking, when will this fucking day end? And
why don't you just simply leave?
well, I've been invited and everything. It was just
So you
like,
just thought you'd
and
just-
no one commented. Oh no, a few people go, I didn't get the message about. First time, is it?
Diverted from the hunting party, were you? And did you try and take your jacket off and then realise there were these two huge,
it's terrible. Actually,
huge dark moons on your armpits?
I'm sure I wouldn't have cared about that particularly, but no one had a jacket off. Exactly.
Oh, so you can take your jacket
yeah, I mean, you could. I knew it just got worse and
What a
worse
load
and
of
worse.
shit.
Yeah,
It sounds
and
like a fucking nightmare.
And I grew. That's where I developed my hatred for that level of conformist middle-class England, and it's the dullest part of England, that the sort of, you know, the cricket club, the golf club, you know, these people who just want to exclude others on some grounds or other because the act of exclusion is enjoyable to them.
Brexit land.
What do you mean?
Well, that is Brexit land, isn't it?
No.
Well, you just said it, guy.
I want to wipe that. I want to wipe that bit of tape.
Can we just replay that? I mean, fucking incredible. I mean, seriously, guy. Dear me. Anyway,
It's all right. Farage would be very at home
Oh, my
at
God.
Henley and indeed at Lord's, I'm sure. But I didn't like it. It rankles, and I don't like being made to
they
wear
wouldn't do the
anything.
murdering, you see. They would be the ones who would come along
Are
occasionally.
we going back to Nazis?
No, I'm talking about any kind of murdering that had to be done, you know. They wouldn't do it. But they would understand that it had to be done. Yes, it's not our best side, is it? Anyway, I'm Irish. I've applied for my Irish passport.
Have you?
Yeah. Fuck you lot, I'm leaving.
I bet that form's simple.
Fuck you
I bet
lot.
that form is simple.
Why would you say that? Are you trying to make some kind of a racial slur against the Irish?
Correct. Guilty as charged.
What, so are you trying to say the Irish are thick, guy?
That's precisely the point I'm trying to make. Don't hit me.
Guy. So you think that kind of comment...
You're a kind of street fighting ruffian.
That sort of comment should go on.
He's coming towards me now, and he thinks he's going to physically threaten me.
I'm not coming towards you. I'm not.
Paul.
Guy, I'm just standing up.
I don't like it,
Guy,
Paul.
take your hand off me. What are you doing? You know, why?
You're so at ease with
Why do you have to be
violence.
so horrible about the Irish guy? I'm going back to my...
Let me tell you.
Take your fucking down up, bastard. No, that dirty fucking... No, I wouldn't do a thing like that, guy. I'm sorry, I'm not trying to intimidate you. You know I love you, but you can't say things like that about the Irish. It's tantamount to racism.
Well, hopefully it is.
What do you mean?
No, because it's like, that's how I feel about you at the moment.
What?
The Irish are messing us around. And they
How are they messing you around? We're not doing anything.
Yes, you are. You with the whole silly little thing, getting all pally with the French and the Germans over your border.
The Irish love the idea of the backstop, I can tell you that.
Yeah, well,
fucking great.
Yeah, well, I think the whole thing is they behaved absolutely reprehensibly, and they will regret it.
Well, I have to say, the Irish did not behave that brilliantly during the Second World War either. They did. Their hatred of the English did let them down a little bit when it came to the...
We overlooked it, because we're gentlemen.
Overlooked it. Yeah, like we overlooked the fucking potato famine.
Well, I heard that was very much exaggerated.
Guy, you cannot say things like that. You cannot say things like that. It was genocide. It was attempted genocide by the likes of you. And thank God it's over. You know, we gave you a bloody nose. Enough is enough.
What bloody nose?
You know exactly what I'm referring to. And we could do it again.
Listen,
You know.
I'm not quite sure what
We could do it again.
what are we talking about?
You know what I'm talking about. Anyway, look. Stop this.
We go to these threats.
Fucking Christmas. Stop
Yeah,
it.
exactly. I hope everyone's had a nice Christmas. Send in any remarks you have about your Christmas that you think that Paul and I might be interested in.
Also, could
Are
anybody...
you more interested in stories of joy and harmony, or in disaster and disharmony and difficulty?
I'm really interested in people slagging you off, if anyone wants to write in about that. But of course, I'm interested in all sides of the Christmas story. You know, it's the fact that, you know, it's a wonderful time of year when, you know, when we all really get to find out what's really going on.
Do you?
Well, yeah, a lot of people, Guy, it's a fraught time, you know, families come together.
And fight.
And fight, yeah. A lot. And it seems to be the normal thing. I guess drink doesn't help. I think people drink a lot less now than they used to do. I mean, when I was a lad, and even when I was like in my teens and 20s, it was just insane drinking, wasn't it? Christmas.
Yeah. Really. What time would you start on Christmas morning, and what would it be?
Well, this Christmas morning will probably be very hungover from the night before.
Right. Yeah, because it's a 3-day event.
Yeah. Boxing Day was usually the pretty bad, because then you were only left with the dregs of the cabinet and nobody had any money left. So it was, you know, you had to really be a bit creative.
Did you used to have potato instead of turkey?
Guy, no. What are you talking about? We could afford a turkey.
Oh, right. So I don't know. I'm trying not to be rude, make you feel uneasy.
No, you're trying to be funny. It's not fucking funny.
You got a £13 potato.
Guy, ha ha ha. So funny, aren't you?
That's dick. Not funny at all. It's not funny at all.
It's not even funny.
It's not funny at all. I don't know what it is. I have nothing against the Irish. It's Paul that I've got a problem with.
Why? What do you think about me getting an Irish passport then?
Well, I think you should be shot as a traitor. Well, no, not shot. That's a little bit, but I think that you should be put on a list.
You've said it now. You can't unsay it.
I just think that you know, you should be put on a list, and that your neighbours.
A list of what? Yeah, a list of Irish citizens.
Yeah, your neighbours should be made aware.
That's what's going to happen, Guy.
That you've traded your British patrimony for some foreign powers.
No, Guy.
Yes. What are you doing there?
That's not what's going to happen. I'm going to have dual nationality.
No, we don't allow that.
Oh, but you do.
I don't like it. You know, when the going's good, I'll be your friend, but I'll be your citizen.
Say
but
that again.
Well, you know, when the going is good, I'll be your citizen. But as soon as there's any trouble, I'll just sugar off to this other place.
No.
I'm surprised it's not the Caymans or some tax dodging place.
No, I'm recognising.
You should stand by your country, Paul.
I'm not saying I'm not.
No loyalty.
I'm half Irish, Guy. Half Irish.
Choose.
Well, I'm in the process of doing that. I'll have them both in my hand and I'll choose.
I'll choose for you, don't worry.
Oh, will you now? You think you're going to burn my English passport, do you?
No, fine.
Hey?
Live on pod.
Live on pod. You know what I think I would base my decision on?
Me.
Which is the nicest colour passport? Which passport looks the best?
That's really superficial.
Well, isn't that what the whole Brexit argument was about? Blue passports.
Nothing about that at all. Nothing about that at all. You shouldn't speak so much of them.
I want a green passport with a harp on the front.
Right.
That's what I want.
Well, you know, there's something smug about Ireland, isn't there, or not?
Yes, but there's something smug about most countries. I mean, England is really fucking smug.
Is it?
Yeah, the UK is very smug, Guy.
I thought we're a bit down on our luck at the moment.
Well, you know, we've brought...
When our backs are against the wall, though, that's when the best comes out of us.
Isn't that what you think?
Yeah, and you sugar off with your Irish passport. Go, leave us. Who want to leave, leave now. Because we're only looking for proper men.
Yeah, like Farage.
I don't know what fancy I'm in. I don't know what I'm in.
Yeah, neither do I.
Yeah, leave.
It's ridiculous. On one hand, you're complaining.
I'm not sure where I'm
I
leading.
just think you're jealous. You would love to have an Irish passport, Guy.
I would not.
You fucking would.
I would not even touch one.
It would make you look like the Silver Fox writer with an Irish dual nationality. He's an extraordinary man, actually. Extraordinary fellow. Straddles
Irishman, I believe.
An Irishman. Oh, really? I thought he was English. I didn't. Straddles consonants, the fellow.
It moves through international borders.
It's like water, fluid.
Under the radar.
Absolutely liquid. I was just chatting with him the other day and I looked around and there, poof, he's gone. I damned him, massive pimpernel ears. Get away. International.